Hello, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me again. I am excited to have you here. So let's just jump right on in. If you came last week, you know that we discussed the top 5 tips on getting yourself ready to purchase a home. Now, when we talked about those top 5 tips, I told you there are other things that you need, but those were my top 5 that were like near and dear to my heart. So, of those top 5, my number 1 was credit. Now, if you know me personally, you know why credit is important to me. Okay? All right. So, I want to dig a little bit deeper into that and let's talk about some ways that you can make sure that your credit is on point. So, we're not just gonna go through a top 5. We're just gonna sit and talk today. We're gonna make this a casual conversation about ways that you can get your credit on point if it's not already on point. A lot of us have gone through the credit hurdles. So you may have already gone through the hills and the valleys. So you may already have your credit where it needs to be. But for those of us who may have credit struggles, life happens and it's okay. So let's talk about what you need to do to get your credit where you need it to be. Now, a lot of people want to go with credit repair. I totally support credit repair if it's going to be done right. I will tell everybody, have always said this, you can repair your credit on your own. You just have to be diligent enough to do it yourself. Okay. So the first thing you want to do is check your credit. Check your credit. You can't repair your credit or know where your credit stands if you don't check your credit. So you have to start there. Check your credit. A lot of lenders that are out there use different credit score models, and a lot of people don't even know that there are different models out there. So everybody and their mother uses Credit Karma. Well, Credit Karma is not the same model that most lenders use. So if you ever use Credit Karma, then you go get the bank lender to check your credit. 9 times out of 10, you may find out that those scores are not the same because they use different models. So they have, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 8 different credit models as of now. So you may have heard somebody say FICO 8, FICO 3, FICO 2, FICO 1, all kind of different credit score models. Your bank model and the credit score that you actually use may not be the same. You may not even be using a FICO model. You may be using another, I'm not going to even confuse you, but you may be using something totally different. So you want to be sure that what you are using at least closely aligns to what your bank may be using. One that I try to use that I kind of stand by, I'll leave a link in the description, the one that I use. I am not getting paid by them, so I'm not going to advertise them, but it's one that I have an affiliate link with them. That is one that I use, so I will leave that below. Another thing that you want to do is to keep up with your credit often. A lot of times you may have mistakes in your credit report. And if you don't keep up with your credit report and check to make sure that you don't have mistakes in your credit report, you could have mistakes that are being counted against you that are not even yours. But if you're too afraid to check your credit report, you don't even know that those mistakes are there. So the next ding that you get on your credit report may not even be yours. Let me give you an example. If your name is Fred A. Smith, but Fred C. Smith has a late payment, and the late payment of Fred C. Smith gets put on your credit report, you don't know. You just see Fred Smith, but you didn't pay any attention to the middle initial. Hint, hint. That could be an error on your credit report. So make sure that you're paying attention to the birthdays, to the socials, to everything that's on there to make sure that it's actual, factual information that's being listed on your credit report. That's just a little nugget for you. Let's see. The next thing that you want to make sure is that you are looking at the dates. So there is something that is called statute of limitations. Make sure, and it's different in every state, so depending on what state that you are in, the statute of limitation, my earring fell off. The statute of limitations may be different. So you want to make sure that you are checking the statute of limitations and making sure that you are, or that they, excuse me, hold on. Can't do two things at one time. Cannot chew bubblegum and walk. You want to make sure that the creditors are following the statute of limitations. So if it is beyond whatever that says statute of limitations is, and they should stop reporting, you want to make sure that they are no longer reporting, because if they are still reporting beyond that statute of limitations, then you have reports on your credit that should not be there. So that's another way that you should have, or you should be making sure that your credit report is on point. Let's see. So a lot of, good tips that you should be taking down. So hopefully you are, jotting down some notes. Another thing that you can do to make sure that your credit is on point: stop getting credit. A lot of people, for some reason, decide that if I didn't get credit over here, then let me call over here, and then let me check over here, and then let me see over here, and then let me get over here. Stop getting credit. If you did not get approved over there, chances are they talk to each other. So chances are you're not going to get approved. Just stop getting credit. A lot of times we go get what's called inquiries. Whenever you get those, that is between 5 to 15, depending on where you go, points deducted from your credit each and every time they run your credit. Okay? So every time you do that, you are taking your credit down further and further and further. Especially if you go to one of those, think about one of those car dealer places. It really happens at used car dealerships, where you go and you only give your credit information to one person. But in order for them to approve you, they have to send your information to 20 different banks to make sure they can get you approved. Well, when they send it out to those 20 different banks, each of those 20 different banks runs your credit information, and it goes down each and every time. So you have to be mindful of those things. So, again, if you want to be home buyer ready, these are just some small tips that you can use to get you ready, to get you going. If you are serious about getting yourself in position to buy a home, you have to stop certain things. If you've already stopped these things, then great, hallelujah. But if you are still doing these things, these are things that you have to stop. Really, like within the last year or so, you have to stop these things, because they're going to check back within the last 2 years. They're looking for, your credit history within the last couple of years. So I'm going to keep coming back with these tips. I don't want to take too much time on this particular video. I'm going to keep coming back with different tips. But please, 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 please make sure that you are just adhering to what I am saying. These are things that are going to get you closer to your goals, okay? Listen to me. All right. So I hope this information was helpful. I hope that this is something that you can use and that you are putting in your back pocket. And tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. Let's all be homeowners, okay? All right. So again, remember, we're prepping for the playoffs. I'm the coach. Let's get ready. Let's do it. I'm proud of you already. I know you can do it. So good luck. And I will see you next week. Talk to you soon. Bye.